Here with my wisdom cup, one of my favorite cups I probably drink out of the most often. I switch them up for coffee with Alain, but this is sort of my regular go-to cup. I sort of like the thought of wisdom. And now we're going to talk about warrior wisdom. Before we do that, I'm going to remind you, sign up for the newsletter at enjoylifesafely.com. That has a lot of wisdom to help you stay safe, defend yourself, enjoy life, be exceptional, a little bit more. So sign up, enjoylifesafely.com. Get that newsletter coming to you every weekend. Now let's look at some warrior wisdom. I'm just opening at random. Nothing happens to any man which he is not formed by nature to bear. Marcus Aurelius. Think about that. What he's basically saying is nothing's going to happen to us that we can't deal with. Everything that happens in this world to us, we have the ability to deal with it. We have the nature to bear the difficult things that come to us. So when we want to give up or quit, we got to remember, no, we can get through it. We can do it. And maybe it's not just alone. That what we bear, maybe part of that is getting help and assistance and somebody to help us get through it. Marcus doesn't say you have to do it alone. He says we're formed by nature to bear, but we're formed by nature to interact with others and get help with others too. So that's something to think about. Got a lot of Marcus on this page. Going to read one more of his. How quickly all things disappear in the universe, the bodies themselves, but in time, the remembrance of them. Marcus Aurelius. And that's pretty true too. Things are gone very quickly. Time marches on, goes on past us, and things are gone. And their memories, they reside as well. And even when we have bad things that just devastate us, time is what will heal and fade those memories, where we can then replace them with better things. Nothing lasts. Going to say good morning to Dixon. Dixon says, deal with it. Carpe diem. Right on, Dixon. Jay and Vicky say good morning, so I want to say good morning back to them. Appreciate you guys being here. Let's turn the page and find somebody else. Ulysses S. Grant. Labor disgraces no man. Unfortunately, you occasionally find men who disgrace labor. Woo, that is a good one for today. I mean, he said that a long time ago, and boy, do you see that today. Labor disgraces no man or woman, and that means it's not to be shameful to go to work. And there are so many people today that think certain jobs, certain things that need to be done are beneath them, which is utterly BS. Labor disgraces no man. I really like that, because if you are working, there's nothing disgraceful about that. And no job is beneath anyone. I've said on here before the lesson my dad told me as I was a boy. What's more important for the health of the community, the doctors or the garbage men? If there was nobody going around picking up the garbage, how much illness would the community have? So there is nothing disgraceful about labor. That's for dang sure. But you occasionally find men who disgrace labor. Boy, are we seeing that. Seeing a lot of it all over the place. People that won't put in the work, they don't take pride in the job they do, and they just do disgusting work. I had it with a contractor. It was horrendous. Cost me a lot of money. I had to hire somebody else to come and replace, because he definitely disgraced his labor. I see it when I go to different stores and places. I mean, the other day I went to a place to pick up some food. I had to interrupt the girl from her phone to bag the food that was sitting there on the counter, ready to be put in a bag to be handed to me. And She treated me like I was an annoyance and an inconvenience because she had to get off her phone and put the food in the bag to give it to me. That's disgracing labor. And you just see that over and over and over again. Stephen's here, and Stephen says, amen. Thank you for joining us, Stephen. Let's see what else we can find in here. Here's one from Sun Tzu, famous, with the art of war. Many martial artists, many warriors, many that study business have heard of Sun Tzu. Appear at points which the enemy must hasten to defend. March swiftly to places where you are not expected. And that is something that is true, not just in war, but in business, right? We want to go places where we're not expected, and that's where we'll succeed. So, good little lesson by Sun Tzu. Going to stop and say what Stephen had to say. We have new graduate doctors, worthless, directly, that will not work weekends. Unbelievable. The sacrifices that I did, got out of school every holiday, every weekend, unbelievable. Yeah, I've read articles and I've seen that where times are really changing. People my age, Stephen, you're probably close to my age, somewhere in there. Dixon, I know, is up in there too. We all came from an era where you worked long hours, you worked weekends, you did it. And nowadays, people wanting to go to 4-day work days. They don't want to even work Friday, let alone Saturday and Sunday. And I can understand it. They're looking at more the lifestyle. They want to live life and not devote life to work. But sometimes to get ahead, sometimes to make things happen, we got to be devoted to work. We got to put in those long hours. And, you see the signs on almost every store, help wanted. And where'd all the people go? Why is every location I go to shop at and go to grab some food or eat have help wanted signs and telling me sorry for the wait, but we're understaffed? Nobody wants to work. And I don't really get that, sort of. And Stephen says he's a tiny bit older than me. All right, Stephen. It's like, yeah, I get it, and I don't understand it. And that's why that quote was, pretty true. In large-scale strategy, it is beneficial to strike at the corners of the enemy's force. If the corners are overthrown, the spirit of the whole body will be overthrown. Miyamoto Musashi from the Book of Five Rings. When we look at that, he's talking about not hitting direct on, hitting at the corners. When you overthrow part of it, then the whole spirit, and then you can win. And that works for other things, not just in battle, but when they chip away at the corners. And that's why we want to make sure that the entire thing of ours is sound and that we don't let our corners be chipped away. Whenever you read something like this and you're learning a strategy, we always want to look at it reverse to prevent it from happening to us as well. Bob is here. Nope. Nobody wants to work too much free money. Well, that could be part of it too. And I don't understand all of that either. We won't get too political today on Warrior Wisdom, but I get where you're coming from. And I see some of that going on, and I don't understand it either. And I don't understand people out there. I'll get off on one little sidetrack that's related to this. This woman got millions of views on TikTok because she took her couch or sofa or furniture, whatever it was, back to Costco 3.5 years after buying it and using it for 3.5 years. And she took it back because she didn't like it anymore. And I just think that's despicable kind of behavior. And that's the kind of attitude and behavior we have by people out there. They want something for nothing. They think, oh, I can use it for as long as I want to use it and then just take it back and get my refund. And that kind of entitlement, the free money, the attitudes like that, I think that is a problem that we have going on. And maybe I'll do a whole show on that here soon. But let's get back to Warrior Wisdom. Dixon did say, sad, Not enough people want to roll up their sleeves and get to work. Yeah, they don't. And every business in this area, and I'm sure it's the same where you're at, have help wanted signs. And you go out, my wife and I go to Dairy Queen, we want to grab a burger and something for lunch, and the lobby is closed because they don't have enough employees, drive through only. And it's like, we didn't want to eat in a car, we wanted to just sit here and eat and then go shopping and stuff. So it is crazy. Let's find some more warrior wisdom. Let's see what else we can find in here. Get another one. Napoleon. Went and saw that movie a little while ago, and it was a decent movie. Let's see this one. An army of lions commanded by a deer will never be an army of lions. Oh, that's a great one. Not just for on the battlefield, which I agree with him on the battlefield, but in life in general. Your leader has to be stronger and willing to go extra and put in the time for his people. The leader must be a lion if you're going to lead lions. A deer is never going to lead lions. And if you have a deer and you have the lions beneath them, someone's going to rise up and take that position, or they're going to leave and go somewhere else. I mean, it's as simple as that. We got to have strong leadership. And if you want the best out of your people, you have to be even a little bit better. Richard's here. Richard, thank you for joining in. Richard says, chipping away at corners. Have known martial artists who train rigorously, but their personal life is a mess and brings them down. Ooh, that's a really good one too, Richard. And that's so true. I've seen that as well. And we see it in more than just martial arts. We see it in all avenues of life. People might be exceptional in one area, but the rest is disastrous and brings them down. I mean, we've seen martial artists where they own schools, but they're deviants and they do something terrible with the kids or people that are in their schools and get locked away in prison. They may have been good martial artists as far as punching and kicking, but they were not good people and lost everything. Other times you see somebody that maybe he's a good martial artist, but not good with finances. And because of debt and different things like that, it brings the person down. So great point as far as chipping away on corners, and brings a little bit more to that quote. Thank you. And Jay is talking about the history. Thanks, Jay. Going to do one more, and then we'll sort of wrap this up. Genghis Khan, sort of a different warrior to learn from, but let's see what Genghis Khan had to say. Conquering the world on horseback is easy. It is dismounting and governing that is hard. Oh, and that gets sort of what Richard was saying. How you could be a great martial artist. You could be a great warrior. You can go out there and conquer and destroy people from the horseback, but getting down off the horse, dismounting and governing, that is hard. And leadership, governing is difficult. And sadly, our country and the world is in need of some strong leadership. And unfortunately, we don't have it right now. And we have so much discourse and stuff going on. But we also realize that it is difficult. And that's why we need to find the best people that could take on the difficulties, and not just the people that can conquer the world, but the people that can govern. Because that's the hard part, like Genghis Khan said. So that was a great quote. I think that we'll leave this on. Was reading from Warrior Wisdom from Sammy Franco. Good little book on different quotes from warriors throughout history. Hope you enjoyed them. I know I enjoy learning from history and then how we can apply that to life today. And I had a couple examples. You guys had some examples. I appreciate you sharing those. Makes the show just that much better. Everyone, be sure to share this. Get it out to more people. Thank you to everybody that joined today. I really appreciate it. Steven says thank you and great point. So thank all of you. Sign up for the newsletter if you haven't yet. Make it a Warrior Wisdom Wednesday, and I will see you tomorrow. Richard said it was a great book. Thanks for sharing. You're very welcome, Richard. See everyone tomorrow.